Hello everybody. Today we are going to review the movie Serenity. Now don't get this confused with the other movie Serenity from 2005, I do believe. This one is from... I'm trying to get my camera at the right angle again. Is that better? I don't know why it feels so weird. Maybe it's what's behind it here that needs to be adjusted. Hold on a second. There. Oh, maybe it was just me. Maybe it was just me that needed to move back a bit. So this movie is starring Matthew McConaughey, Anne Hathaway, Diane Lane, Jason Clarke. Now, I always butcher his name probably, but Damon Hounsou and Jeremy Strong. So we have this character named Baker Dill, who his real name isn't actually Baker Dill. What was his actual name? I wish they would have put that. Do. She does call him by his real name, and now I can't think of it. It was on the tip of my tongue earlier this morning. Anyway, before we get into that a lot, so basically we have this character named Baker Dill who he's a fishing boat captain. And his only problem seems to be that he can't catch this fish that's been eluding him for I don't know how many years, months, whatever it was, but it's been a problem of his for quite some time. So he has these people on the boat that seem to be paying customers that he's taken out to have a day of fishing with him and his first man, Duke. So when he finally gets this fish on the line, I think he's at it for like a good 3 hours or something before he finally catches it. And the two guys that came on the boat with him aren't going to pay him now because they completely were... he completely ruined the experience by pulling a knife on them because he's so focused on catching this one fish that he doesn't care about anything else or anybody else in the moment, I guess. Needless to say, the fish ends up getting away, so they don't get paid for that. Now, what was it that happens just after that? He's with this woman, or I guess not really with this woman, but he's kind of... I don't know whether really call them like friends with benefits or what they really are. Or maybe he was supposed to be actually with her, I'm not sure. He's with this woman Constance anyway, or at least that's who he's sleeping with in the movie. Don't really know what they are, whether she's just like another business transaction to him, or whether she's actually means something to him. It's kind of hard to tell with the character in this movie, that's for sure. So he's with her, and then he's trying to, he's trying to get Duke to go and find something else to do because he knows that Duke has a kid in school. And he just wants him to be able to find a different job that pays better. And so he tries to find some sort of way to kick him off the boat. So he says to Duke one day, finally, that he thinks he's bringing his bad luck. Ever since Duke's wife died, they haven't been able to catch anything. So, of course, Duke leaves the ship, and now Baker's left on his own. So he then starts to fish for his... Well, he was just going to try to catch this big tuna fish, but he realizes that obviously doing that by himself isn't going to probably get him anywhere, and he's not going to be able to catch it on his own, so he starts catching swordfish and other types of fish in order to, I guess, kind of pay the bills as he goes along. And then all of a sudden, his ex-wife shows up in in Plymouth Island. That's the island they're on. So his ex-wife shows up, and she's talking about her current husband and all this other stuff, and how she's being abused. Sorry, I'm just looking up something. How she's being abused by her husband. And I guess that they had a kid together. And so she wants him dead so that she can get out of this horrible relationship and obviously, I guess, kind of keep the kid safe in a way. Was Jason his other name? Oh, John, right. His other name was John. Okay, so she refers to him as John throughout the movie because that's what she knows him as, even though he goes by Baker on this island, right? But she obviously knows him as John. So her current husband is this Jason Clarke character, and she wants him dead. Oh no, sorry, that's the actual actor. I'm looking at the wrong name. His name is Frank. Frank. Oh my God. Frank Zerkias, I believe. And what was his son's name? You would think they would have him here. Oh, come on. Of course it says over here what his son's name was. Just give me 1 second here. Oh yeah, his son's name was Patrick. So you can kind of feel this connection between the two of them throughout the movie, which is kind of like a really weird connection. I guess they can kind of like hear each other talking, and Karen actually does mention that at one part in the movie where she says that he can hear you through his computer screen whenever you're like you actually have a real true connection with your son. It's not just like some even though you're, I guess, separated by who knows how many miles, right? He's able to still feel your presence, I guess, in a way, because there's one scene where he's like touching the water on the table and Patrick is touching the water on his computer desk, and he does a lot of coding. We're not really sure why he's doing all the coding, but he does a lot of coding. And then we find out from actually Frank that he's trying to make this connection with this boy from Karen's previous marriage. Little does he know that Baker / John is actually the previous marriage, and that's John's or Baker's son. So he's talking about how he thinks this kid's a little bit of a freak, and he tries to go into his room to, figure out what he's doing in there all day. And Patrick says to him, I guess, that if he wasn't in there playing his game all day, the fishing game that he plays, he would find a way to kill Frank. Because at this point, we know Frank is abusive. We've seen the scenes with the fights between him and Karen. We haven't really seen the fighting, but we've heard the fighting. So as this movie goes along, we're introduced to this really weird character. Reed Miller, who's this owner of this company, this fishing tackle and other company. What was the what was the name of it? Oh, come on. Oh my God, I hate when I can't remember the name of certain things. So he does name the fish, the tuna fish that he's trying to catch, Justice, which I find really funny because it actually does. It is a huge part of the movie here. And once I find out the fishing company name, oh, it's gonna tell me. It's gonna tell me. And he was actually fishing both night and day for fish before he finally decides to let Duke back on the boat too, because he needs a, I guess, second hand in order to take people out to fish, because if he doesn't, he will lose his license. Oh, God, I'm trying to think of the name of that fishing company. That's going to bug me now. And I know I'm going to think of it as soon as this review's over, probably. That's what really makes me mad. Come on. Anyway, so this guy tries to sell him a fish finder. And then he starts talking about how he knows that he's going to kill Frank and all this other stuff, and that he is the rules, and so on and so forth, and that what Baker is actually living in, or John is living in, is this game. It's not even like a real reality. So there's these little things in the game called like find the cat and catch the fish or whatever, and so on and so forth, kind of thing. So then he starts to kind of question his reality, and he's going around asking all the people if they really know what's going on. And I think his first clue was actually laying out all the maps and realizing that Plymouth Island was the only thing that was actually on the island, which I found very interesting, because then all of a sudden he's like, where are we really? What are we actually doing here? So then near the end of the movie, when he's going to kill Frank, it actually shows flashes between him and Patrick. So Patrick is in the house, grabs a knife, walks out of his room at the same moment that Frank goes overboard of the ship in the game. Then Patrick walks back into his room, and you kind of have a sense that he actually went out there and just killed Frank. So we do find out that Patrick did kill his stepfather in, I guess, what they're calling self-defense, but he is going to be going to juvie because he's too young to be tried as an adult. So, and then I guess he's going to be put, once he serves his time, I think it was, he gets put back into the custody of his mother. So the only way that he's able to actually connect with his father is to rewrite the game and put himself in it. So that's what he does, so that he can actually be in the game himself as a character, and his dad as well. So I find it kind of funny that he literally just created a whole game based on his own plot of killing his own stepfather. That's kind of what the movie really was. They did a good job of even making you wonder whether, even after saying that it was a game, you still weren't really 100% sure, because it's doing so many flashes between the two of them that you're like, is he going crazy because he's been stuck on this island for so long, or is John actually not losing it, and he's just, yeah, is he losing it because he's been stuck on the island for so long, or is he actually in a video game? Those are the two questions you're constantly asking yourself. Is it's kind of like doing these weird flashes between characters, and like him being able to see a person, then all of a sudden they're gone when it goes to another camera angle, and then they're back again. It's just like, oh my God, this is so confusing. What's going on? And then obviously when Patrick rewrites the game, you know that it's not real. But so we find out that John actually died in the war. I can't remember the exact year, but he earned a purple, is it the Purple Heart? Purple Heart medal, I think. I believe that's the correct name for it. Now, don't quote me on what it's actually for, but he did earn a Purple Heart medal. So, unfortunately, I guess Patrick lost his father and then created this game in order to keep a piece of him with him, I guess, because they did, I guess, go fishing a lot when Patrick was really young. So, I guess it was kind of a way to keep his father's spirit alive, I suppose, which was, kind of heartfelt for sure. And you don't really feel bad for this Frank character because of who he was. And I'm pretty sure that this Reed Miller guy was just basically like the part of the programming in the game, like a non-player character, I guess. Now I'm not really sure whether he was, or he was the rules, I guess. So he was like not even. It's weird. So yeah, whenever somebody would go out of the way of the rules of the game, he would be there to stop them or direct them in the right path again, I guess. That's kind of what his purpose was. So anyway, I think I've kind of like done loops of what I'm talking about in this movie, but I did really enjoy this movie. It was a good thriller movie for sure. I would highly recommend going to see it. I give this movie an 8 out of 10. I don't think it had any fall-offs that I can really think of. I just think that that's the score. That's what I feel this movie deserves, an 8 out of 10. Now, I don't know, IMDb rated it really low as far as I'm concerned, 5.4 out of 10, and that's out of 38,816 people rating it, so I would say that's a fairly low rating for this movie, but that's just me. I did actually really enjoy it, and I wish I could think of the name of the fishing company that he worked for, because it was kind of important to the movie, but not the most important part, I guess. I guess that's all I'm trying to say. So anyway, as always, like, share, subscribe, comment down below your thoughts on this film if you've seen it. If not, I would say go watch it. It is on Netflix right now. Hopefully it's still there when I put out this review, because I'm not sure what month I'm going to put it into. Probably the horror month 2.0, but I'm not sure. I'm going to have to go back and check my other video to see what month that was supposed to be. And I will see you guys next one. Bye bye for now.